What's up? So I just drove a long ways. Hopefully you can hear me. I got earbuds on. Drove down this trail, long trail through the snow. Got stuck. Almost couldn't make it. This is as far as I can go. So I've been watching these outdoor boys videos, and my wife sees them, and my friend Armand Assante saw them. He's like, you could do that. When you live up in northern Michigan, out in the wilderness, you could go spend a couple days out in the woods, make a video, and see what happens. And I'm like, I do that for fun. Like, I need a break from working. I'm constantly on my computer working on my books. I have 2 books I'm publishing. Working on the publishing company I just started, just constantly working. So I thought, what a fun way to break up the winter. It's to go out and spend a few days in the woods. So I said, I'll just drive a few hours from my house in a really remote area, and I'll just kind of do what Outdoor Boy does, kind of video it, chronicle it, live off the land, bring minimal stuff, just, sleep in a tent. It's cold as hell, but the sun's out right now, which is nice. So that helped this morning. I wish I would have got an earlier jump on this, because this morning everything was frozen. It was like an ice, I'll put the video in here. It was like this ice luge, like everything was, there must have been a cloud like came through, and then it froze to all the trees and was all icy and beautiful, but then it melted. And that's when I decided, I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to go spend a few days. It's going to be cold. It's going to be in the 20s, and, at night, probably in the teens, but whatever, I can survive. I'll bring this minimal food, live off the land. I got a couple little things I can use for cooking and stuff. I got fire. I'm going to chainsaw. I'll chop up some firewood, build my shelter. I'll probably sleep in a tent, but I'll probably fortify the shelter. I have my 4-wheeler, so I'm going to drive the 4-wheeler as far as I can, and then probably walk in a little ways to find a nice spot, and that'll be that. I'm just going to go as far back in the wood as I can in the middle of nowhere, and survive off the land for a couple of days. So that's what I'm about to do. So I just thought I'd share that with you, and I know it's going to be cold. I know that. All I got to survive on is my knife and my BB gun, I got not much gear back there, and a sled, and I'm just gonna drag what little I have out there, and boom, and see what happens. It's gonna be cold. I'm just saying. Well, that's about as far as I can get on the quad. I think this is a pretty good place to call camp. It looks like there was a clear cut at some point 10, 20 years ago. The loggers had come in here and clear cut. Same with over there. So there's lots of dead fallen branches that I can use to build a shelter. I can use for firewood. I don't have a chainsaw, because my chainsaw is a piece of crap, and my neighbor's trying to fix it, so I use his if I need it. So I just brought a machete. And, machete is all I need to chop wood. There's a lake not too far from here. I can get to the lake on the 4-wheeler. I can try to fish. I did bring my pellet gun in here. There's a partridge sign I see all over the place. Lots of deer sign. Nothing really fresh. But you can see there's tracks all through here. Deer all over this. So I think I'm going to... It's kind of a lowland spot down out of the wind. I'm going to find a little grassy spot. I'm going to hike in a little ways, probably, hike in a mile, maybe 2 miles. Just till I find a good spot, and then I'll set up. Could be anywhere, but I would like to buy a water source. It would be nice, because I only brought a gallon of water, so because how much I can only carry so much, I have a backpack on, and I have this sled that I'm going to drag, but my selfie stick is really a pitchfork with a bungee cord strapped my phone to it. So, I'm not high tech with this echoey in here, man. It's crazy. It's beautiful, quiet. It seems like it's really nice. It's sunny and warm, but it's like 20 degrees. So it's chilly. And tonight is going to be very cold, very cold. So, and I don't have, all I have was a 0 degree rated sleeping bag. And that's it. And a little tiny mat. You'll see when I put my tent up. It's going to be It's gonna be cold, but I'll gangster it out and survive. Just because I can show these guys, you know, the guys who do this. I mean, it's cool that they do it, you know, but they're not like really roughing it. I'm actually gonna really rough it. I'm not even use a cooking device or heating device. I'm not even gonna use a cooking heater. I'm just gonna fire. I'm gonna make a fire and cook my food on it. I'm gonna make a fire and warm myself using it. What I'll probably do is take some rocks, big rocks, heat them up, throw them in my tent, and that hopefully will emanate enough heat to keep me warm throughout the night. If not, I'll be in big trouble. But at least it's sunny and not windy. So God forbid a blizzard, you know, storm comes in. And I didn't even check the weather. That's how spontaneous this is. What do I always call my wife? She's impetuous. That's what I say. Impetuous girl, you're all alone. She's impetuous as hell. Like, but this was me being impetuous. I was like, honey, you know what? I'm gonna go survive out in the woods for a couple days. So, you know where I'll be if you need me, but I won't have a signal. So if I die, I loved you. Always will. See you in heaven. I'm out. All right, let me go ahead and get this stuff ready. Leave this quad. We're here. I also got to mark the trail back. That's one of the things. I know there's no real trail here. It's just wilderness. Northern Michigan, you know, goes for hundreds of miles, hundreds of square miles. So there's no trail. I kind of took a bit of a trail from where I parked my truck, and then I drove where I could, almost probably a deer trail, some kind of animal game trail, and I followed it until it just kind of fizzled out where I am now. And I'm like, all right, I'll hike in at this point. Hopefully I find a little creek or something. That'd be nice. But anyways, so here we go. Impetuous guy, about to get it in. Tell you what, if there was no snow, that'd be rough, dragging this thing for miles. Got to ration my water. Not sure which way I'm gonna go. Some hills over there. Last thing I want is hills, so probably gonna stay away from that. That's the clear cut. Nothing really of any value there. I don't know how far I could go for miles. I like to stay to the woods. Woods give me a better chance at seeing some game. Like if I could see a partridge or a grouse or something, squirrel. It is small game season. I have a small game license, even though, you know, I only have a pellet gun. I am allowed to have that as a felon. Couldn't bring my bow. It's just too big to pack, and it's really not any better than a pellet gun trying to kill a squirrel or a partridge or something. I don't think you can kill turkeys right now, but I'm gonna get to humping some more, and then we'll find a spot. Everything, you look at everything I got in here. And by the way, everything I have here, I am able to pack on my motorcycle. I've done it. I have everything like strapped on with all this gear, plus my fishing poles. Actually, a little more than this. Not the water. Don't bring a lot of water. I just boil water or filter water. But I can get it all strapped to my motorcycle and then drive like 50, 100 miles in the wilderness and just boom, just camp it out. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna head in that direction for about another mile or so. Massive game trail. I'll come on here. I think it's elk. I just got on this game trail and walked for about a couple of miles. And look at this, elk tracks. Because where I'm at there's elk. Not a lot of them, but some. But look at this massive trail. It's made my walk a lot easier. But I just walked along, and I think this is about it. Honestly, I think this is as far as I can go, man. I'm looking at this deadfall tree right here, lots of firewood. I could even make a shelter out of it. I'm gonna show you guys how I can actually turn this deadfall log into a shelter in case you don't have, if you don't have a tent, if you have a tarp, or maybe even if you don't have a tarp, maybe I'll do one without a tarp. I'll just show you how you could build a shelter right here without a tarp or anything if it meant surviving your life. And I'll show you how to do that. It's not going to be easy. It's going to require a lot of energy. And the thing is, if you get to the point where you have to build a shelter to survive, that's the first thing you want to do when you get to wherever you're going, because by the time, if you're running out of energy, by the time it's time to build a shelter, you won't have enough energy to build it, and you'll die. You'll freeze to death. So yeah, you got to find you got to build you a shelter. That's prime thing. You can go without food, you can go without water if you got snow around there, but you can't go a night without shelter. So you have to immediately, using the energy that you have, because let's say, God forbid, you don't have any food, or you got a protein bar or something. That's usually all I carry when I'm out trout fishing or something. They're out hunting. I get a protein bar and some water, one bottle of water. But if I'm out in the woods for the night, spending the night trying to survive, you gotta build shelter right away while you have your energy. So find the most efficient and effective way. There's two different ways. There's like a lean-to, which I think I could build out of some of this wood, or like a teepee, which is really easy to build. If you have, like, even if it's small, I'll build a small one. I'll show you how to build a small lean-to, and just take brush and keep piling brush and brush. All you got to do is get inside it and snuggle up. If you just get in there and snuggle up and stay warm, just survive the night. But if you got nothing, you're in trouble. So I'm gonna look around here. There's got to be somewhere in here I can jump in there and build my little camp. So really want to go fishing, but it's probably not going to be. I don't think the lake where I want to fish is even safe to go ice fishing on. There's a river there. I could try to catch something in a river, but it just, I don't know. I don't have any worms. That's just better off eating a protein bar. I'm just saying. You need some big sticks. I need at least 3 of these. I've had this machete for, I don't know, 6-7 years. It's super dull. I'm thinking about just leaving these branches on there, and they can help support the branches and twigs that go around it. Because I'm going to build a tripod. I need one more good branch. I don't have enough for a tripod. Just where do I get it? There's one. It doesn't have to be big. Man, machete is so dull. Man, it is like freaking. That's another thing. Don't go out in the woods unless you got a. Oh no, my tripod messed up. Well, I guess I got enough for us. All right, let me show you. This is me building a basic shelter to survive in. I have a tent. I have a little one-man tent. I just cut myself and scratched it. Don't do that while you're out here. I'm a bleeder. I take blood thinners. But so I come across this spot here. A little bit of a mountain over there. I come down the mountain and it's this kind of grassy spot. It's pretty flat. Obviously the deer have been bedding here. There's tons of deer crap, which I'll be sleeping in, basically. There's deer crap everywhere in here. Look at this. That's a hefty pile of deer poop right there. And it's all over the place, but it ain't gonna affect me. You know, there's more right there. one right there. Here's my dull ass machete. But anyways, I'm gonna make my tripod right here. There's a pretty flat stretch of ground right here. So I think I'll just clear it out. Never mind the deer poop. I'll just, you know, whatever. I ain't gonna be on that. So what I'll do is, I'm gonna build a teepee lean-to. It ain't gonna be pretty, trust me, but it will keep me survive. Now I do have a tarp, which I'm gonna try to not use. I'm gonna build a shelter where I don't need the tarp. Now, if you have a tarp and you're out in the woods, then yeah, you're golden. You're good. But you can. It's pretty easy to build like a little tent type shelter to get into and keep warm. But let's suppose you don't have a tarp. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you. So there's the frame. It ain't pretty. I'll take a piece of string and I'll tie it around up there. Just kind of hold it together. No big deal, but as you can see, now I just gotta fill in the blanks. And I got a lot of brush and stuff I can do that with, so I'm gonna build me a shelter. Luckily, there's no snow right here. Otherwise, I've been sleeping on snow. And all I have was one little mat. All I brought is this little mat to sleep on. So, hopefully it's comfy. If not, it's gonna be a long night. All right, I gotta go gather up some brush and some pine balls and much as I can to build a shelter here. As I'm walking out here, I'm starting to go, did I bring a lighter? Because I was so impetuous and was like, I'm gonna go out there and just, you know, grab what I can, throw it in the sled and go. But I have a survival kit, so I'm gonna show you the survival kit that I keep on me wherever I go fishing, whenever I go anywhere. It's a little fishing kit, good to have. I may go, you know, use some of this tomorrow, fishing in a little river or creek in the lake. I don't know if I'll catch anything, but might. But this thing is, you have, I think this is 50 feet of paracord. It has also a compass, very valuable if you get lost. It has this knife that I put in there. It's my, just a little pocket knife. Got a bunch of tools. This is I'm going to start a fire with this. I hope everything's wet. I don't know if I can. I'll try. It's pretty. It should be pretty. You know, this is like a. I forgot the name of the, like a graphite type of fire starter. We'll see if we can get a fire starter with it. And here's a bellows, which I'll use to get the fire going. And this is kind of an all-purpose tool right here. This thing's got some string and just whatever you need. These C-clamps. Here's another compass. I believe that's a compass. Somebody gave me this, by the way. A guy on YouTube, I believe it was a fan on YouTube, sent me this. I was like, hey man, want this? Yeah, it's a nice compass. I actually got a really nice compass in the mail from Amazon. I think they accidentally sent it to me, and you know, I didn't send it back. So this is probably dishonest of me, but so I have a really nice compass, which I probably should have took with me, huh? But there's a protein bar in there, and I'm getting hungry. I might eat that thing. So what I'm gonna do is, it's getting to be evening, and I'm working on my shelter, but it's getting kind of cold now, so I'm gonna get a fire going. So I think it's the smartest thing I can do is get a fire going. Now I don't see any rocks around here to kind of make a fire pit, but I'll kind of clear a spot away and see if we can get a fire started. So let's give that a shot. So the best way to start a fire is birch bark, but I don't see any birch around here anywhere. So the next best thing to birch bark is really dry, rotten tinder, which here is some of it right here. I wish I could find a birch tree. Is that a birch tree way over there? I'm gonna look over there, man. That makes my day, because birch trees really, there's a chemical in birch and the bark that makes it, yeah, there is a birch tree. I think that's a birch tree. Let me see. Might be a big popple. No, I think that's a birch. Slop through the woods, man. Deer tracks everywhere. There's coyote tracks. Yeah, that is a birch tree. Perfect. Yeah, this is clearly they did nice pun intended. They did a clear cut here at some point. some rabbit poop right there. Lots of animal tracks in here, just coming through here. That's a big birch tree too. It'd be nice if there's some branches. So this was what's called a solette cut. At some point in the last 10, 20 years, loggers came through and they logged all this out. And they took all the big trees, and these are the trees that they didn't take or just have grown since then. That is a big birch tree, and that birch tree has been growing for a very long time. I'd say 75 years. So he got passed over last time the loggers come through. They didn't log it for whatever reason. Now you don't want to peel a bunch of the bark off these trees. You can kill them, and they can die real easy. They're very sensitive trees. So you don't peel a whole bunch of bark off and peel it out. You'll kill them. If I sat there and peeled a bunch of bark off this tree all the way around, a couple square feet, it might kill it. And so you don't do that. This tree's already leaning to one side. It's a very big birch tree, man. This thing's probably 100 years old. It's a big, healthy birch tree. It's way up there. But, here's what happens. So you get you peel a piece of birch bark off like this, right? Just a couple pieces here and there that's already starting to go. And you'll see, I'll show you how. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but birch bark, it's fascinating. I don't want any more than that. All right, that's it. I don't want to take too much. The pieces that are kind of coming off, that's okay. But you don't want to take too much. You want to keep the tree healthy. I got plenty here to start a fire. And so you can start a fire in the middle of the wilderness, in the snow. And one time I went steelhead fishing, and the guys I was with had me cross the river. Very popular river. There's guys all over the place fishing, right? And they're like, whatever you do, don't cross there. That's what they said. On the way back, we were coming back, me and like 4 guys, and it looked like a good spot to cross because looked like we go to cross there, and I got washed out, and I almost drowned. And it's just like this. There's snow on the ground. It was snowing. It was raining, like sleeting, snow on the ground. It was freezing freaking cold. And I got almost washed under this log dam. Oh, there's a bobcat track right there. That's cool. Big old bobcat track. I've been seeing them. So, anyways, how did I dry myself out? Well, these guys, there was another guy. He fell in too. And I looked at him like, dude, you want to dry ourselves out? He's like, how are we going to start a fire? I'm like, find me a birch tree. He's like, why? I'm like, just find me a birch tree, and I'll show you. So eventually, we needed something dry to burn, because the birch bark will start from fire. You'll see that right away. But we needed something to burn. So I said, find me a rotten tree that the woodpeckers have killed, and it's more of like a stump now, right? So you walk up to it and you punch your hole through the wet outside, exoskeleton, punch through it, peel that off, and then inside is a bunch of dry, rotten wood. And so I said, get that. So we started doing it, and we made a tripod, just like the one I got going here now. And then we dried our clothes out. And these guys got the funniest pictures of me and this dude standing in our underwear. At one point I was naked because my underwear was wet too. So I was just standing by the fire naked, and they were taking videos, making fun of me. But, and then I burnt my underwear because the flames got too high, and I burned in my underwear. So it was funny. It was a good time. I did catch one steelhead, and I'm the only guy who caught a steelhead that day. So all paid off. It was funny. All right, now I'm going to show you how I get a fire going. Where shall I start it? I like to keep it pretty close to the tent. I'll put it right here. Let's do a clear spot on the tent. What I mean by tent is shelter. It's not a tent. I'm going to make something. I'm going to make right here. Make a little fire pit. You kind of do want to clear it out and have a pit wise, because you don't want it to spread and catch on fire. So you do want to kind of clear a spot out. But I'm not going to have no raging giant fire. I just need to heat up some food, some water, and heat up some rocks if I can find some. I saw some ways back, so I just got to heat up a couple big rocks and then kind of wrap them in a towel and put them in the tent. or in my shelter because it's going to be cold. Like, I ain't playing around. I'm legit sleeping out here in the cold. And the temperature's dropping right now. It's 25 degrees, but in an hour it'll be 17. 2 hours it'll be 10. So I got to get this thing done. It's how much sunlight I got left right there. I got to get moving. Let's get this fire started. I'll get some wood. I'll be right back. All right, let's see if we can get this fire started. Takes off quick. There, then you gotta mount up this dry. That's the nice part. That's why I picked this spot, because there's plenty of dry red pines here. There's a bunch of big red pines, and you know the lower branches are always dead, so they die. So you just see how fast the birch bark goes up quick. So gets really hot, and so what I gotta do is I gotta build this shelter, but I'm gonna heat up some water so I can have some cocoa. I don't have cocoa. I'll be back. Have me some cocoa. This bellows right here is dirt in my mouth. Gets things burning really fast, really hot, really fast. Good to have. Got to get you one of those. I have a couple. I got to build this shelter, but I'm gonna build a little. Log tripod here to put my my teapot on and boil some water, heat up some water. All right, I'll be back in a minute. In the name of conserving water, I'm going to use snow to make my hot cocoa. I'm not really picky. I mean, as long as it's not yellow snow, but it's frozen, so I gotta kind of dig it out a little bit. I don't want to waste my. I'm one of those dudes that I don't even care about the sticks and twigs and crap in it. You know, some people are like, my wife, there's sticks and twigs in your cocoa. I don't care. It's not gonna hurt me. I'm surviving. My hands are gonna be freezing after this. But this is what I do now. Make me a little teapot holding apparatus. That's not really the best one I've ever made, but yeah, that's not gonna be good. Here's what I'll do. Glue these two together. Really, I can just go like that. That's good enough. That'll heat it. That'll heat her up. And then I decided I'm gonna skip finishing the survival shelter tonight because it's gonna be dark in an hour, and it's gonna be dark in an hour, and I probably can't finish it in time. So I do have this crappy little tent that I have, right? I like the tent. It's a nice little tent. The problem is, it's like a single man tent that I use for when I'm motorcycle camping, right? And the damn sticks broke. So now they're all like apart. So I have to piece them together one by one and slowly slide it through and build this. It's just a pain in the freaking ass, but you can watch me do it. I'm just saying. Stupid ass me. I'll show you. What an idiot. I forgot about this. Oh, God, the pain. Such a pain. Look at this thing. They're all busted up. Oh, God, such a nightmare. And it's got to be put together just right. One at a time. And you got to have the sequence just right. Otherwise, if you don't get it right, it won't work. Okay, so this is this part that goes in the ground. So this one has to be here. So you got to take this one out. What the hell? No. What the hell? How is this one? Oh, my God. How are they both? I don't know. It's a pain in the butt, but at least I'll have shelter and won't freeze to death. Hopefully. My life. Out in the woods. Oh, not that one. That's one for the back of the ground. It goes this way. Yeah, if you can get them to see the string, if you can use it as like a wedge to keep it locked, that's a great thing. But most of the time you can't. But I try. I don't know how long this thing's supposed to be. Oh yeah, there's. Are they both broken? No, just the one. Just the one that's broken. Yeah, so I got one that's broke. So one is good. Come on, Butana. These things, man, made in China type crap is a joke. None of them, they just don't work very good. China, your stuff is crap. And American stuff is crap too, but it's better, but it costs 4 times more. So, my wife bought me this because she knew I wanted to go on like motorcycle trips. Camping trips overnight on my motorcycle out in the wilderness and stuff like this. So she got it for me because we have a big old monster tent too, which is stupid. I don't know why we have a giant tent. It's like an 8-man tent. It's cool. You can stand up inside of it, and it's nice. We put a queen size fold out mattress in it, and we glamp. It's a lot of fun and comfortable. We thought about getting a camper, like doing like having a pull up camper, but dude, that ain't camping. We go out in the wilderness. We never go to campgrounds. We don't camp in campgrounds. We intentionally, my head's gonna steam probably. I intentionally, what the hell was that? Is that a coyote? You heard a coyote. Might have been a wolf. Could have been an elk. It could have been anything. But I intentionally go off the grid as far out on the wilderness as I can get, as far from everybody and anyone. My wife likes to be in the campgrounds, right? She likes to have a bathroom. I build a bathroom. I don't not build the one now because it's just me. I crap out in the woods. It doesn't bother me. I can pee, whatever. But she likes to have a porta potty or an outhouse. But the problem is there's so many idiots at campgrounds. There's always inevitably some dumbass who pulls up and I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. I'm not that douchebag guy. I'm telling you. I just want peace and quiet when I'm camping. Please, I'm out here to hear the birds and nature and be at peace with God and one with nature. I don't want to hear your generator. I don't want to hear your kids screaming and yelling. I don't want to hear your dog barking. I don't want to drink a beer with you. I don't want to hang out by the fire with you. No offense. Enjoy your time. But if I go camping in a campground, inevitably there's always one douchebag who's going to run the generator till midnight, or he's going to be up playing music late at night and being loud with his buddies drinking. And it doesn't matter if they're young or old. I've had guys, 50, 60-year-old guys, loud and obnoxious. I almost got in a fight a couple times. Worried about getting in a knife fight, just crazy stuff going through my mind. I'm not joking. One time, you can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. One time me and Maria went to our favorite camp spot, which is on the Fox River, East Branch of Fox River. Beautiful, beautiful campground. Nobody's there. Place completely empty, right? It's a rustic campground, so there's no electricity, no wells or nothing like that. It's just, campsites, right? We picked the one that we want. Beautiful sites, kind of tucked in the woods, beautiful, right? And we spend the next 2 hours setting up camp, doing what we're doing. I'm doing here now, kind of. But I set up a big tarp. I have a big, huge 40-foot tarp lean-to, which I put my tent and all our gear under in case there's a thunderstorm or rain. Everything stays dry. If it's raining, we can just sit in our chairs under the lean-to, stay perfectly dry. So, it takes a long time to peel it out. I got to cut stakes and rope it down and, all this other stuff. I might do that here. I might show you how I do a lean-to here, man. Might as well. I'll be here for a few days. But anyways, all of a sudden one time, we just finishing up. I collected some firewood. We got our camp going. Just going to chill. Me and my wife, happy to be up there. We're going to spend the next 4, 5, 6 days there. Up pulls this dude and this man and wife. I am not kidding. You can't make this up, man. 9 kids. And where do they park? They park right next to us, the very next campsite to us. It literally 25 feet away. The whole place is empty. There's probably 50 campsites, right? It's huge. It's like a quarter square mile. So the place is big as hell, man. It's on probably 160 acres or something. Huge. And they park right next to us. Get out, open the doors, kids screaming and yelling everywhere. They got a couple little ankle biter dogs yapping. The kids are crying. He took my bike. He went blah, 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 blah. And I looked at my wife, and we don't say nothing to each other. Now I'm on parole at the time. I'm on parole. So I was like, I looked there and said, we on Candid Camera, man? Are we being punked? You know, because people, some people do know me, my novels. I was putting my novels out there. People said, this would be a great guy to punk, you know, because my novels were kind of getting popular. People knew who I was. I think I started my YouTube channel. I think people was kind of like, this guy Gunner's a character. We could really punk him. I thought maybe I was being punked. One of my boys, you know, set it up. I don't know. Just could not believe it. And I wanted to say, hey, bro, you can't possibly be this stupid. You can't possibly be this stupid. I'm camping in a rustic rural campground in the middle of nowhere. You park right next to me with your 9 kids and their dogs barking and your wife. And by the way, the wife was pregnant. So they were working on 10. Wife was pregnant. Unbelievable. So I just told my wife, start breaking it up. We're moving. Start packing it up. She didn't argue. She didn't debate. She's like, okay. She don't even say nothing. We just start breaking it. We break down our entire camp. And the way the camp was set up, there was like 2 levels. This was on the upper level. Then you go down this other level, which is not, there's only like 8 camp spots, but it's beautiful. It's right by the river, right by the creek, Fox River, and lots of trout in that river. Really good. It's famous because there's a plaque that a monument to Ernest Hemingway there, because that was one of his favorite trout rivers, and it's still to this day one of the best trout rivers in Michigan. And so we went down there and camped, and we couldn't hear him or see him. It was fine, you know. We didn't bother. But this is the reason why me and my wife stay the F away from campgrounds. You just can't do it. There's too many idiots. And then we've tried time and time again to go to the campground, and you pull up, it's beautiful, nobody there, it's quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom, you might have a day, you might have 2 days, but eventually some douchebag's gonna pull up, throw out his freaking big giant camper, blast his boom box, pop a beer, start yelling, or running a generator, all that. I'm like, so me and my wife have decided we just won't camp in campgrounds. We just go out to state land, or technically you're supposed to have a permit, but we don't ever do that. We just, you know, whatever. We get a ticket. I'll take the ticket. And by the way, camping at campgrounds is expensive as a mother, man. It's like, in some campgrounds, it's like $30, $40 a night. It's really gone up. In the last like 5 years, it's gone up from like $15 to $40. Like I can get a motel for $45 a night, and you're telling me a rustic campground with not even electricity is $40? It's a scam. So I don't feel bad if I don't pay a night or two. Sometimes we'll go there and be like, oh, I forgot to pay the whole thing. But Maria's all, you know, we're honest people. Let's pay, and I get it. I just feel like I pay my taxes. I have a right to camp in these state-owned or federal-owned. I have taxes. Now you're going to fleece me and extort me for $40 a night, so I'm going to camp there for a week and spend $200, $250. F you, man. I'm not just whatever. So what I do now is just go in the woods, just like this. I find a spot on the woods. We go out there. I said, Maria, I'll build you an outhouse. So I have this pop-up outhouse. Maybe next time I'll bring it and I'll show you what it looks like. I don't think I packed it. I should have packed it, but I actually might have packed it. I may have packed it. It was just funny. I'll show you if I didn't. And it's too far to go back. I'm miles away from the car. But anyways, it's like a pop-up. It was originally for a shower, pop-up shower for a solar shower. But all I do is put what's called a luggable in there, which is a bucket, which is like a bucket with a toilet seat. Flip open toilet seat, and then you put like kitty litter and stuff in there, and with a bag inside of it, and you just crap and pee in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? So you have your own outhouse. So that's what I say. That's what we do. We're gonna go camp out in the woods, and we'll have our own outhouse. We'll have our own thing. And she comes to terms with that, and she's fine with it. And we don't have to deal with douchebags. We don't have to deal with people yelling and screaming and music and just idiots. I just can't believe the number of dumb people in the world. It's shocking. That's the scary part. If you look at our culture and our society, and you look the number of dumb people, like who would do that? Like if you're camping in a quiet, rustic place, and there are people with tents, and they're just sitting there cracking a fire, and they're minding their own business. You want to pull up with your Winnebago. That happened to me this year, last fall. I was with Tyler Allen, a very famous podcaster out of Canada. The guy's famous, you know. He's like, William Morris is his agent, so he's a big shot. You know what I'm saying? The guy's a huge podcaster called Minds of Madness. And we went salmon fishing. We camped at this spot. It was beautiful. We were in the middle of nowhere. We had like 1 or 2 days left, and we were catching a bunch of salmon, having a blast. And all of a sudden, there's 2 freaking Winnebagos. 3 trucks and 2 Winnebagos pull up. These guys from like South Carolina, hillbilly. How you doing, guys? I'm like, not good, man. What's wrong? I'm like, well, everything was great till you showed up. What's wrong? I'm like, there's a whole campground. There's a whole campground here. You just parked right next to us, 20 feet away, with your whole family, 3 trucks. They got the music pumping, the banjo, and I literally said, Tyler, let's go, bro. And I said that to the people. I was like, I can't believe you're that stupid. Like, well, this is our spot. Where's where like well, your spot was taken by us. We were here first. So go down the road to another spot. That's simple. Why would you camp right on top of us? I said, no, Tyler, let's camp it up, pack it up, let's ride. And so I can't do campgrounds. Me and my wife, you'll see this coming spring and summer, we'll do some trout fishing adventures where we're out in the woods, and we just go out in the woods, in the middle of freaking nowhere, just this is where we go. This is where we camp. Set it up. Boom. We'll rock it out. And she'll go looking for mushrooms and berries. And I'm like, all right, I'm going out looking for big trout. And I'll see you back here 4 or 5 hours. You know, sometimes we're within walkie-talkie range, you know, if we're within a mile or so. But sometimes we're not. I don't worry. She wears bear bells and carries bear spray and a BB gun. I'm not worried about her. And I'm just in the zone, man. I jump bears. I jump deer. It's scary when you've been in a trout stream for 5 hours and you're silent, you know, just kind of wading on the river and drifting, and all this is chaos. And lots of times this is a bear or deer just happen to be right there, and they see you and smell you and freak out and run away. I had one clapping his jaws at me, a bear is doing that. I pulled him out with my knife because I figured if he attacks me, at least I got something to fight with. But he took off. I was good. Anyway, let me get back to this tent. I'll show it to you when I'm done. So the good news is I got the tent up. Bad news is one of the graphite stakes broke. So that's not good. The poles, I mean. Also, there. I was looking for my stakes, and I noticed I couldn't find them. And I only got 4, these little tiny stakes. And if I don't stake it down and we get a windstorm kicks up, we could be in trouble. So you gotta use these little itty bitty stakes. Keep in mind, this is just my little, like, single man tent that I use when I'm out. When I'm out on my own. I have a nicer tent that's higher quality, but that's what I use for me and my wife. But for me, just me, there's no warmth to this thing, 0. So I'm gonna freeze my nuts off. So I'm going to stake her down. There's a bunch of deer poop right there. It's frozen deer poop. I can see the ice. And I got some graphite in my finger, so that's good. Fire's still going. Water's heating. Camp looks good. I don't know where the hell I am. There's no GPS signal out here. There's no signal whatsoever. So if I die, well, I'd send a gunner. If I hurt myself, or I got a sled full of gear. I'm about 1.5 miles from my 4-wheeler, which is about 2 miles, 3 miles, 4, I don't know, 3-4 miles from the where I parked. And so I'm gonna actually get something to eat. I think I'm gonna start making. I'm gonna cook something. Let me finish getting my bed together here, my bedroom, if you will. I did bring this tarp, but I didn't bring any stakes, so I have to make some stakes. Only reason I'm going to put the tarp over the top is because it's going to keep the heat in, because it's going to be cold. So there's my lovely sleeping mat. It's going to be super nice and comfortable. Huh? This thing is dope. And this thing is a 0 rated sleeping bag, and I won't, like, even though I will be cold if I zip myself into the whole thing, I won't be cold. I kind of regret not bringing another blanket, though. Typically I do. I just only had so much room. I had room. I was just too raring to go, you know? Impetuous. Stupid. Just could have bought I have this fleece. Big fleece thing I could have wrapped myself up in. Instead, I'm going to freeze my balls off. The crows are already calling. They know I'm going to die tonight. But this thing, I have 2 of these. One for me and one for Maria. I can't remember the brand, but I should, because maybe they'd sponsor me. What's it, the brand? This brand is called Eton? Teton, excuse me. Teton, would you like to sponsor me? I'd 100% endorse you. Your product is awesome. So I've had this thing. I have 2 of these for like 7 years, and they're freaking amazing. When I go camping, they're all I need. Maria likes to have some more blankets and stuff, but I got a blow-up pillow. I'll show you. Put that in there. The nice thing about this time of year, no freaking bugs. Yeah, I do this in the spring and the summer, and I have to cover myself in DEET, or I'm freaking getting bombarded by black flies and skeeters. All right, let me see if I got my. All right, so I didn't bring my pillow. Thought I did. It's all right. You know what I'll use for a pillow? Oh, my water bottle. Here's an interesting tool that I bring with me when I'm on these little missions. This thing's super cool. Yeah. I mean, one thing people always forget, they seem to forget. Now, I have a deadfall right there, so I could literally walk over there and sit on the tree, not be very comfortable. You know, especially since I'm 50 yards from the... I think I just saw a snow owl. That's pretty cool. A snow owl. I saw a couple of eagles, too. Snow owls are rare. Really rare. I think I just seen one. There's a big white thing flying through the woods. It had to be a snow owl. But people forget, one thing they always never remember is you need something to sit on when you're eating and cooking and whatever. So this thing, look at this little thing here. This is, what is it? Well, I'll show you. It's a pop-up chair, my dude. This thing is badass. I always forget how to make it though. Let's see if I can. You guys can watch me make this thing. It's kind of a pain. I think I did it backwards. Puttana, ma signori. Backwards. Chair. Boom. Chair, now I got a chair. Sit around the fire. Huh? It's a little tiny chair. It's comfy too. Get the snow off there. It's a comfy chair. Camp is shaping up. What I got to do is I got a little cooler over there with some food in it, and I'm gonna get the fire going a little more, and I'm gonna make some hot chocolate in a second, and then I'm gonna cook. But I gotta get that tarp up, because if I don't, my ass is gonna be freezing. You know what? That backpack is a cooler, so if my food and stuff is in that backpack, it's actually like insulated, thermalated, whatever. I got about an hour and a half of light left, so I got plenty of time. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna get this fire popping, and I want to figure out what I want to cook, and then get that tarp up. And I'm exhausted, man. I must have walked freaking 5 miles. Okay, I didn't walk 5 miles. I walked like 2 miles, but still felt like 5 in the snow, crushing through the snow. And I hope nobody finds my 4-wheeler. I just left the 4-wheeler in the middle of the wilderness, and the key's in it too. Brilliant. And somebody walks up and goes, nice 4-wheeler. I mean, somebody like the old me, what I would used to be back in the day, I'd walk right up and go, oh, free 4-wheeler, thanks, whoever. And I actually did that before at Bull Gap in northern Michigan. Bull Gap's a famous place where young teenagers go to party and hang out. And everybody was at this place, like the trucks and 4-wheelers and dirt bikes, and they're all going up this big giant sand hill called Bull Gap. Of course, I was on hallucinogenics. One of the few times in my life I took acid, and I walked up, and there's a whole bunch of 4-wheelers and dirt bikes sitting there, and for whatever reason, I felt inclined to take one for a ride. Ended up crashing it into a giant gravel pit, rolled it down the hill, was lost in pitch blackness, tripping on acid, walked for several miles, saw a light through the woods, walked to that light, happened to be a cabin, and a bunch of people were in that cabin drinking and partying. It's 4 a.m. I walked up, knocked on the door, and said, "Hello, I'm lost, and have no idea where the hell I am. I was camped by like this kind of road thing. I came in off of, I don't know." And they're like, "I think I know where you're at. That's where the kids go to party." I'm like, "Thanks. Can you give me a ride?" They put me in a truck, and drove me really right to my camp. Of course, my boys were all sitting around drinking beer, going, half of them were asleep, but the other ones were awake. Like, "Dude, where you been? It's been like 5 hours, bro. Where you been?" I'm like, "On a journey through the wilderness. Try to walk through the woods without a headlamp at night, pitch black on acid, straight through the woods. I'm not talking about like trails. I went straight through the woods. I was scratched up. It was horrible. Anyways, I got to cook. I'll be back.